Hello, everyone. This is video 867. I don't know why I'm talking this way. I guess it's because the Queen died. I don't know. It's on my mind. A little, not much. Um, yeah. Was just something I noticed today that I am still recovering from COVID. I don't want to exactly say long COVID. It's just I have this congestion in my throat like all the time. And when I wake up in the morning, it's like, and like little itty bitty like speck of phlegm comes out. So it's not like I'm sick. It's just enough to be annoying, and then in the afternoon, it starts to mess my mind. And I find myself throughout the day talking in some words down, and I could be in the middle of a conversation with somebody, and my voice drops. And it's a little bit annoying. Actually, it's a lot annoying. But that said, I'm happy to be alive, and it's getting better and better. If as long as you have two lines that are not parallel, even if they're just a smidge off, eventually they'll intersect. And so at some point, healing and normalcy will meet. We hope. But I kind of had an observation today with my daughter, and where I want to start is at work. Let's go back to work, and I hadn't spoken for a while, and so that means that there's a good chance that my voice will screw up or go down. So as I sat there in my cube, I was just sitting there repeating my word, which is banana. I've mentioned that before. I just practice saying banana, 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 until I get to where I want to be, and then I keep on talking. But what I noticed was I was repeating numbers. One of the things I do in my job is I key in checks. Okay, and so as I'm flipping through my stack of checks, going down the list to make sure I key them all in, I was repeating the numbers. I was like, and these are all going to be random, 17235, 1231, 325. And I just found that I was speaking very, very quietly, which I think is what we do, excuse me, when we have a conversation maybe we don't want someone else to hear, and we're talking to someone maybe up close. We're like, hey, did you know that you're a wooden owl? I just, I want to make sure you're okay because your expression doesn't change. It's very wooden. When we talk to someone up close, we may whisper a little bit. And maybe that's part of practicing your vocal pressure is now of course again, now here, right there, it's kind of flat. And so that's where that congestion is, okay? So hopefully, and through talking, hopefully that'll, I'm trying to see where the resonance is. Hopefully as I am talking through about right there, um, I work through that. But I kind of had a thought. Well, maybe I should finish my first thought. So when I got home and I walked in and I greeted my daughter and, hey, how are you? How's your day? Well, I still wanted to have this lower voice. I wanted to still kind of have this, like, not, I didn't want to go down into my old voice, and I wanted to kind of have a conversation, but I didn't, it was like with her, I almost felt like she was talking with me and engaging with me, not intentionally to make me drop down into my old voice. Of course, now I'm going to have trouble because I'm thinking about it, but it was like normally I would just drop down into my old voice and we would have a conversation. But what I did instead is I talked quieter and I leaned forward as if her and I were having a conversation just between two people. And I maintained, maybe I got a little more volume out of this vocal pressure, but I maintained this level, okay, this voice level, and I made her listen. I made her quiet herself. She had to close her phone and look at me. I don't know if she was reading my lips, but normally I would be the one who would drop down in my old voice so we could have a conversation and I could hear what she was saying to me. But today I didn't do that. Today I was like, oh, and how was your day? In other words, I wasn't going to let her control what I was going to do. And I'm almost wondering if maybe you've encountered something similar, or maybe that might give you some, a little bit of empowerment, maybe, that, obviously, part of this journey is confidence. And we get confidence through practice, we get confidence through quantity, not necessarily quantity. We do it, and we feel confident, and we just reinforce that, right? Memory. Um, so I thought I'd share that. Uh, the other thing that I thought about too, because, um, I get on the elevator at work, go downstairs to get coffee, and make myself do a lap around the elevators. Um, so I get more exercise. But it allows me to see people, many different people for a short duration of time. And that gives me time to practice saying the same thing over and over again. And so the first lap around, I may see someone and I say, well, hello, how are you? Okay. And maybe the next time around I say, hello, how are you? A little bit lower. And maybe the next time I say, hello, how are you? Okay. Now, the question that I have is, between those three things, how do I know which is me? In a way, part of doing this is you're to a certain degree, you're stuck with the voice you have. Okay. But I wonder if, is there a little bit of latitude there? Not necessarily if I wanted to talk a little higher, because I think if I always talk this high, I think it sounds kind of fake. But the question I have is, if we did not have, and I guess in my situation, if I never went through puberty, and I was always a cis girl, let's say, how would I sound? I mean, there's no way of knowing that, right? I mean, there's no way of knowing that, because I did go through puberty. I did go through, and muscles changed and bones grew, and all those things. There's no way of knowing. If you know a way, you're better than I am. So I guess my question is, how do we know what our authentic voice is, other than just, do we like the way it sounds? I mean, most people, I don't necessarily like the way that I sound, but it's just that's the way that it is, and most people don't like the way they sound when they hear their voice unmodulated. When you hear your voice without headphones, you're kind of like, oh, that's okay. But then when you hear it, the playback, without your brain, okay, equalizing it, you may not like your voice, you know. And so I guess that's a little finer point of voice training. Maybe a professional could help me and say, you know, work on your consonant pairs, your ch and your t and your p, and those kinds of things. I don't know. Probably something that I could work on if I wanted to. It's just not a high priority right now. Um, I have decided today that I need to change my eating habits. I need to change my eating habits. I'm not going to do what I did to lose all my weight before because it wasn't maintainable and it's not very healthy. Um, basically, I forced my body to eat itself. Okay, a lot of potential energy here, and that's not really, it's a cheap trick, and it's not something I want to do in the long haul. I mean, it would have like led to problems once all the potential energy is consumed. I guess then you're going to start to eat, muscle tissue and everything else. So I'm kind of doing a bit of a modified version of that. When I was doing that, because I think of the Spiro, I wasn't doing salt or potassium. And a lot of salt substitutes are potassium, or maybe magnesium. I don't know, there's something in there you shouldn't do while you're on a heavy dose of spirulactone, and I don't remember which one. But one of the things that I learned when I lost so much weight was how much of a salt person I am. I love salt. I love the taste of salt. And part of, I don't have the book here. Part of starting that process, I ate boiled potatoes for I think 4 weeks. Just boiled potatoes. No butter, no salt, no seasoning. I could eat as many as I wanted. Okay. And what that did was that reset my taste buds so that I could disseminate very small traces of salt so I could taste it, as opposed to maybe the way that I am now, where, the more salt the better, and I'm getting so much sodium throughout the day. My taste buds have acclimated to this new threshold. And so part of, I think, doing the potato thing was to reset that. And it also, the potato bit, um, made me eat when I was hungry, as opposed to not just eating because it's time to eat. Or, you know what I mean? I ate because I was hungry. Food, um, food lost all of its wonder. You know, it would be like you know, eating a piece of wood. Ooh, sorry. It would be like eating a piece of wood. You're just has no flavor, has no taste. Um, you are just eating it for the energy that it contains, not as a pleasurable experience. And that's something that I don't want to do. I still want to live, but I want to reduce. I want to reduce my salt intake. I want to reduce my fat intake. There's some small things I'm going to do. And I still am going to cook the way I've been cooking for my daughter. Okay, I'm not expecting my daughter to do what I'm doing, but I am going to cook a little healthier for her. But I'm not going to deprive her of anything, okay? And I don't think I'm going to deprive myself of anything. I'm just going to do other things. For example, in my soup that I make, and I'm going to eat it every day, okay? Again, somewhat to um, take away eating to eat, but bringing eating as an enjoyable thing that I do, but not a sociable thing that I do. I'm going to eat and eat a little bit, and when I'm full, stop. Not going to scrape my plate like I normally do. I'm going to eat smaller portions. And that's something too that I was able to do with my soup. It basically is like a vegan chili. It tastes a lot like chili. It looks a lot like chili, but it has a lot of watery vegetables in it, like celery, onions, kale, spinach. Um, it has a lot of high fiber vegetables that fill you up, make you go potty, okay? Roughage, clean out your colon. But it makes you feel full. And then you stop, and, um, it's, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it works. I don't want to do what I did before, but I know I got to do something different. Definitely increasing some exercise would be the same thing, but, you know, um, for me at least, if I have to work out, you know, 5 times a week, that's something I'm not going to do sustainable. So why do that? Eating something, yes. But I'm not going to start something that is so far-fetched. If I feel like walking, I'm going to walk. But I'm not going to feel bad if I don't go walking, if that makes any sense. And because it's not something sustainable, it's not something I'm going to, it's something I would do and then reach my goal and then stop. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I've just have reached that point. My clothes, um, I was a 3X, all as a younger person, and I got down to a 2X around the time of my surgery, and now I'm a 4X. And so I weigh basically the most I've ever weighed, even before transitioning, and I am the largest that I have ever been. And I realize as you get older that happens. Okay, our bodies slow down, metabolism. It's just if there's some things that I can do, I'm going to try and do it to prolong my own life. Now that I kind of have my things together, I want to live as long as I can. You know, um, so that's kind of good. Another thing I guess I could do is cut back on caffeine. Don't want to do too much too quick. But reduce the pressure on my heart, and definitely cutting back on the sodium is going to help out with my not only my obesity but my high blood pressure. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. If I don't like it, I'll change my mind. Um, I'm still dilating. Um, had a really good session the other night. It's the only way I'm going to call it. And yeah, I want to get that garage working. Okay. I don't know if there'll ever be a car in my garage, but I have it. Use it. Well, clean it out. You know what I mean? Anyway, on that note, I think I will sign off and wish you the best of luck in becoming yourself. And as always, I'm learning things. I thought this would be over by now, but still a learning process. Still in development. Still a work in progress. Maybe that's just the way life is as we get older. Um, I don't know. I don't know. The other thing too is, I got to a certain point with my voice, and then I got COVID. And I got lazy, and then I got COVID. And so, I'm still fine tuning things and learning things. And so, who knows what tomorrow will hold? Pardon me. On that note, good night. Bye bye.